I have a quick question that I'm going to answer today that some of you might want to know. Is that worth $700? Alright, so here we are again showing this duffel bag full of stuff, minifigure stuff that I did a video on and a purchase, and a lot of you were asking what the actual value of this is when you put it up for sale. So I did track all the numbers as I listed it for sale, and I'm going to go ahead and go through all that with you. So this is from LegoLand Florida Resort. I just think some of you have asked about international shipping. I do not believe they do it. That's as far as I've heard, but this is what it is. The duffel bag is free. You get 2,500 pieces. It says 500 legs, 500 torsos, 500 heads, 500 hats or hair pieces, and 500 accessories. So they say it's you save $1,500. So let's go through it here. I guess I'll just put it in this perspective. If you were to buy fill up, I think it's you get 210 minifigures for the price of $700 from their station directly. So you get 500. So it's definitely over 50% savings in that regard. I mean, I'm not sure anyone's going to go there and fill up, was it 70 packs to get 210 minifigs and pay $700 for it anyway. But here's what I did. They created a spreadsheet kind of. So let's go through. I'm going through the from top to bottom of a minifigure. The accessories, then the headgear, heads, torso, legs. So we had 45 different pieces, quantity of 522, and I could say 510 because there was 24 total skis. So take off 12 if you're counting 2 skis as one, but you know it's a separate piece ultimately. So when I added it to my store, the average value of actually what these parts actually sell for was about $375, and it took me 45 minutes to list them all. And then so that's the accessories, and I'm just kind of, so I don't reveal everything. Boom, there's the headgear, and at 49 was the variety, different pieces, some really nice pieces in that. 485, which was low, but the other quantities made up for you. You did get the pieces they told you, actually a little bit more in the end. $425 value. It took me 1 hour and 45 minutes to list all that stuff. So that is the headgear. And then we go to the heads. 67 different heads. There's a huge variety of heads. 516 is the quantity we counted. My counting scale counted it, and actually when I listed them, that's how much I came up with too. And then the value was $275, and that took me 2 hours to list, and the sorting of that was the longest as well. So heads are a pain, definitely a pain. And then with that, I guess I'll show you these now. These 2 heads could not be located within Bricklink. This is very similar. It has the lines in the mouth. I could not find it. And this is very similar to another one which we could not find. And I asked some help on some other places, and nobody could find them. So we believe that it's not on Bricklink. I have them here to try to add them at some point, or if you know that they are there, can you just put it in the comment, the part number from Bricklink, and I'd be very appreciative of that. So there's the heads. And then we go to the torsos. So let's delete that. And now we're at 41 different torsos, 524 quantity. An average of $400 is what they all can sell for. Or they have sold for at that price. And it took me 1 hour to list. Now some of these averages here, there was some that was like 1 or 2 torsos. So the variety was not the greatest on the torsos. I can tell you that right now. Accessories, expecting there's not so many you can get, but the torsos, I'm a little disappointed in the variety, because you're getting like 30 of some of them. So it was overall very good, because there's some good stuff in there. And then the final is the legs. We end up getting 51 different ones, quantity of 499. $450 what they sell for. Yeah, I was surprised to see that was the highest of everything, and it took me 1 hour and 30 minutes to list it. So I'm gonna go on the fly here and just total these up here, make it look nice. So if you don't know Excel formulas, here's the simplest one. You put the equals, and then you put sum, and then in parentheses, we're doing B2, and then the semicolon. That's right, and then B6. And then you close that parentheses and hit enter. And it adds up all the B2 through B6 together. So there's 253 different elements we've received, and you can just copy that and paste it over to each spot. This one won't work the way it's set up. So 3 hours, 4.5, 5.5 plus 1.5, 5.5 plus 1.5 is 7 hours it took me to list them. Plus it took 2 hours to sort. So we're just going to put in here 9. It took 9 hours to process this in total for me. Now that's not for everyone. Definitely not. We're going to bold that. So here's the totals here we got for you. That is $1,925 is the number that I think most of you are looking for here. Paying $700, and this is what everything actually has sold for. You know, when you're talking about selling things, there's fees involved and different things and materials, so you can't really take this as minus $700. That's your profit. You know, what is that? $1,225. You can't do that. But overall, I think it's a very, very good value. It's not a great value, but there is some really good advantages here. I guess I'll talk about the disadvantages first. Disadvantage is the part out value, you know, because most of the time when you're trying to buy stuff, you want it to be almost 3 times the value what you pay for it, which is, this is close, but it's not. Also, there's not enough variety for what you pay, how much you're paying. But I guess you're buying a bulk thing, so I mean, I guess that's not too bad. You're not. I mean, what do you expect? It'd be nice to have 10 more of each different. You know, 50 more heads. It's a 300. I think that would take that out of a disadvantage, because it's just some of those torsos you're going to have forever because you have so many of them. Now, I will say that for my store, I consider it a great value for my store, the way I want to run my store. Your store, everyone has their own way to do it or what they want to add. So my first 3 days, this is the 3rd day it's all been listed, I did sell $65 worth of stuff already. So out of this number, and my prices are actually around $1,700 and so, because I do list my stuff about 5 to 10% less than what the average sold values are. So for me, I paid $700, and I should get back $1,000 in the end, roughly, minus all the expenses that outside of the cost of the goods. So in this case, the advantages I found, it's 80% less parts than if you were to part out a Lego set with bricks and pieces. And for the value, I just compared it to other sets I parted out for about the value this $1,900 comes to. And then, so that equals less time to pull these parts and less space needed for the value. You can add a lot of value to your store in inventory, and you need less space, and it does not take as long to pull those pieces because there's not as many for the prices. So that is some advantages there. So I estimate the 9 hours of listing and everything, and then 4 hours it would take me to pull all these parts if they, you know, in orders that come in roughly. You know, it's hard to really gauge that. So for 13 hours, I should profit $1,000. That's how I look at this. You can't look at. I hear a lot of times saying it's not 3 times part of value, I can't buy it. Well, if you're getting a huge bulk amount of things, it is worth your time to get something at, you know, 2.25 part out value. That's my opinion. Not everyone's going to have that opinion, but I mean, you just look at what is your profit and how much time are you spending. So this, for the time you spend for it and the profit you can make in that amount of time, that's where for me, it's a great value, in my opinion. And when I just talk about that another minute, big picture, think of the big picture. You're trying to grow your business. Are you trying to grow your business or store, or are you just trying to make a quick dollar? You know, not everything you buy is going to be a profit a ton in regards to this. And this is something that I feel adds a huge variety to my store, that I already have a very big variety, and I want that to draw in more sales. But you got to invest wisely. If it works for you, it works for you. If not, there's lots of other deals you can find out there. Well, I can't really say that right now, but there is deals out there. They're just not everywhere anymore. So, yeah, that's about it. I hope you guys enjoyed the original video and this video going over all this information. It's still available as of August 13th at 10:23 a.m. Central Standard Time here in America. So I will catch you guys on the next one.